the budget numbers. I realize, and I would agree with you that I would rather go slow than try to speed through this and not have a full plan. And I've yet to see a plan. I'm still looking forward to seeing that. But last time we were talking last year was a $98 billion project. I know there's some new ridership numbers, and now we're talking a $68 billion project with a different timeline. I know that there have been some changes with the rail authority. But on the $68 billion, the numbers I have here is Prop 1A would be 12% of the project. The federal funding, which was already been obligated, would be 4.8% of the project. The unfunded piece, $38.6 billion that was unsecured federal funds, 56.4% of the project. Do you anticipate that that will be a request from Congress on stimulus dollars? Do you think it will be part of a budget? Any idea where that 56% or $38.6 billion will come from?
Well, I'll just be honest with you, Mr. Denham. I would hope that we could find members of Congress that wouldn't prohibit the federal government from funding high-speed rail projects. That's a good first start. We look at, as long as there's language in bills that prohibits us from funding, we're going nowhere. So if you'd be good enough to withdraw your language in that appropriation bill, or tell Mr. McCarthy to do that, that'd be a good first start for us. We're not going to get $1 as long as there's language in appropriation bills that says that no federal money can be spent on California high-speed rail. That doesn't help us. That doesn't help us get any more money to the project. So that's why I say we're looking for private investment.
The amendments are not meant to help you. We agree on that. The amendments are meant to stop this project until we see a plan. You and I have been talking about this for 2 years now. I want something that I can bring back to my state, back to my district, and say, here's the plan.
The last time we talked about it, I suggested that you sit down with Mr. Dan Richard, and go over the plan and review it. Now, I'll be happy to have Mr. Richard call on you and sit down with you and review in detail what the plan is. So if he does that, will you withdraw your language?
When you can show me that this project is fully funded and we have a private investor...
We're not going to get it fully funded as long as there's language in bills that says it can't have any money. How do we fully fund it?
Mr. LaHood, I've been hearing this story for many years now. When it first came up in front of the state senate, it was, if you'll just support this, we will have a private investor before it goes to the ballot. We just need to be able to show that the legislature supports it. There was no private investor. But then they said, well, wait a minute. If we just pass it, if the voters pass it, then we're going to have a private investor for sure, because we'll show that the state is obligating these funds and we're going to be ready to go. There's still no private investor. And they said, well, wait a minute. If we just get the stimulus dollars, we will definitely have a private investor come in, because now we've got the state, we've got the federal, and we've got the voters on the hook for this $33 billion. But then it became a $98 billion project that was going to take an extra decade. And we said, okay, well, if we just have the true numbers, a private investor will come. So I keep hearing about all these private investors, all these steps that if we just jump through one more step, we're going to have this private investor. So until we have a fully funded project, until we have a private investor that says, look, okay, I understand you guys have some amendments, I understand you guys have some disagreements, but here's what it's going to take. Is it $36 billion? And the private investor is going to come up with 10 or 12 or 15? Then let's see how that makes sense. Look, I'm a businessman too. I run a company. I know that I can't go out there and borrow money or expand my business or go to sell a new product until I've got a business plan to sell to investors. You're trying to sell me on a plan so that I don't put any more amendments out there. I just want to see the numbers. My district wants to see the numbers. And I think the state that has obligated state dollars needs to see a plan as well. I'm out of time. I'll yield back.
Let me